Everyone can still see, correct? Amazing. Every once in a while, I'm like worried that like for some reason, like going full screen is just gonna like get rid of it. Anyways, so again, hello, my name's Jenna. We're gonna be showing you the new and exciting features that we've released for this past month. Very exciting. Okay, so as I mentioned, today's session is gonna be made up of two different parts. First, we're gonna be taking a look at our new features in action. And then we're going to be moving to the live Q&A session to answer your questions. Once more, make sure to throw any and all questions only into the Q&A box. We're going to try to get to as many questions as we can. That said, there are a lot of us here today. So if we don't get to your specific question, please feel free to check out our user community at community.monday.com, as it's likely someone else has already had your question or asked your question there and had it answered. And if not, you can always reach out to us at support@monday.com. And as mentioned, you will be emailed a recording of today's session within 3 business days. So no worries, it is being recorded. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our schedule today. So as I mentioned, here's the quick housekeeping and then our agenda. So first we're going to go through the different features that we have. So that's going to be subfolders, our files gallery, automating with numbered conditions, our dashboard views, profile updates, Zapier integration improvements. Sorry, Zapier. I still don't get used to it. Our app of the month, which is Hootsuite, and then of course the Q&A session. I see someone asked, is there sound yet? Just to confirm, can everyone hear me? Okay, well, then for that one person, you might need to check your sound conditions. Okay, so now that we have basically our agenda set up, let's go ahead and just jump straight into our whole little, oh my God, can't think of it. My account, the boards, there we go. Okay, so while there are a lot of features that you're going to see today, we have a wide variety of applications. So for this specific example, we've decided to use a product marketing launch use case to kind of demonstrate them. I specifically decided to use a template from our template store, which you can do by clicking add, choose some templates. And this kind of is the choice that I made just because this already comes with a dashboard as well as some like a folder itself with different boards in it. But it's specifically the product marketing launch use case. This kind of just provides a nice foundation to get started, and it's fully customizable. You can find it in our template center, like I mentioned, by searching for product marketing. Of course, if you're not aware, we have lots of other boards available in our template center, which is a great way to get started with the most popular workflows that we have. With this template folder, teams can keep track of all campaign planning, marketing initiatives, and strategies. You can also just map out goals and metrics to measure by, set target audiences or personas, select the source or channel, track the overall status, and stay on top of your different deadlines. All of the features that we're going to be showing today can be used with any workflow, so don't fret if your work has nothing to do with campaigns or marketing. This is simply a good way to show the features in context. Also, as a quick note that I can see in the chat really quick, just as a quick mention, it's you will not be able to speak on the webinar today. It will just be me. But moving forward, again, feel free to pop any questions into the Q&A box. Okay, so to get started, we're going to be taking a look at the new account organization feature that will help you manage your complex workflows under a single workspace, thanks to the introduction of our subfolders. So before I demo our new subfolders in action, I want to briefly share an overview of how organization works on your monday.com account. So first, let's talk about workspaces, which you can see from this dropdown right here. Workspaces allow you to have different areas for each of your teams while allowing everyone to work in one account. This means that each team can concentrate on what's relevant to them while still enabling collaboration. You can even choose to have your workspaces represent clients or projects if that makes more sense for the way that you work. Now, back in our new features November workspace, inside of this left pane, you'll see that arrows that we have that we can click to expand or collapse just to kind of keep our boards organized. These are called folders, and they are another means to add a layer of organization in your account. You can create a new folder by clicking add and then new folder right down here. So as an example, here's our new folder right there. So for example, let's say that we want to add this one and then rename it to campaigns 2023, for example. Now we also have the ability to add another layer of organization or hierarchy with subfolders, which, as you can see, we already have some nested subfolders within campaigns 2021 for November and October. This is actually like a really highly requested feature by our users, so we're really excited to share it here today. This is especially helpful for anybody who may have like an increasingly complex workflow that demands additional structure. Now, to add a subfolder, just go ahead and click on the three dots menu next to your original folder. And this is going to bring a drop down, and you can see at the bottom right here, it even says new, create folder in folder. So now this is, as you can see, created a new folder that we can rename December. And will be the spot where under our campaigns for 2021, we put any information that we have for the December campaigns, marketing, product, etc. I can even move a folder, such as this new one that I created here, into a different folder so that it becomes a subfolder of that folder. And as before, you can expand and collapse them as needed, just to kind of help declutter the workspace so that you can see everything as quickly as possible while still being able to easily organize and find the information that you need. Okay, so now that we have that all kind of panned out for the subfolders, let's go ahead and go to our campaign planning and status board. We're going to be using this board to help plan, run, and track our entire campaign workflow for the month. For example, you can see under upcoming campaigns, the upcoming campaigns group that I'm working on a launch for new ice cream flavors. So the first board feature I'd like to show you exists in our update section. So for those of you who are just getting started with the platform, you're going to see this small speech bubble next to each of your items. This is where the updates live, as you can see over here with what just appeared. Updates allow you and your team to communicate on a specific topic and easily find the conversation later on, keeping your conversation in context. With the updates editor, you can upload files from your computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box.com, and OneDrive into an update or a reply. To do so, just go ahead as if you're writing an update, and you see this option to add files. And this is where you see those different options of where you can upload a file from. Okay, and now this is obviously where you can add files to your updates, but in case you haven't noticed, we have this new tab up here called Files. So this is what we call the Files Gallery. The new Files Gallery allows you to view all of an item's files from both the file column on your board and or the update section in one easy to use gallery display. You can see that I've already uploaded files from my update section, my file column, and the Files Gallery. And this is noted under the title of each upload. So you can see this one's from the files column and this one's from an update. To directly upload new files to your files gallery, go ahead and click Add File in the top left. The drop down next to the button will let you add files to both the files gallery and the files column. So click that to enable and disable that. And then if you click add file, it lets you go directly from your computer. Okay, to note, if you choose to upload a file using this method, it will be stored in the files gallery and the files column of that given item. It will not be stored in the updates editor itself. Just as a quick note for that. Another huge bonus of this feature is the option to download all of your files in one go. So you no longer have to download files one by one from the files column or the files board view. You'll notice the download button in the upper right corner right here. If you hover over it, it lets you know that your files will be downloaded as a zip file. This new feature is really helpful for anyone who needs to manage documents and files, as you can have all of them in one place on your board. Alrighty, so next, now that we have our files gallery explained, I'd like to take a look at the newly supported automation field available in our automation center, which can be accessed by clicking the little robot guy up here under automate. So these are the current board automations that I have. For those of you who are not familiar, automations allow you to leave repetitive manual actions to us, meaning you have more time to focus on the important stuff. We like to refer to our automations as recipes, each one consisting of a trigger, such as a status change to something specific, which causes an action like a notification to someone on your team. In addition to these pre-made automations that we have here, you also have the ability to create your own custom automation, which can be done by clicking this big banner right here, or going down to the bottom and choosing to create custom automation. So when building your own custom automation, you get to decide which trigger, for example, when my campaign status changes to completed, changes to completed. Then, for example, the action would be to move the item to my completed group, and then even notify someone on my team, which I can make that me, I can make someone from people column, etc., and then add your notification information here, including auto population abilities, such as, for example, a owner, which will insert that person's name, and then you can add any sort of other information, which just auto populates the information from that specific item. Now, unlike our pre-made automation recipes, you do get to choose the combination of triggers and actions that you want, and even build automations with multiple triggers and actions. Now, to show you guys the ability to now have the option of automating with number conditions, I'm going to go ahead and create a whole new recipe. Like I mentioned, so we do have the option now to automate with number conditions to set off an action based on the number rule that you set with the automation recipe. So you may have noticed that this feature exists in some capacity as an automation trigger in some of our pre-made recipes. With this new update, it's available as a custom automation condition, giving it much more power as the trigger that will check a number value against some other value. For example, if I want to run an automation when a certain count or price is reached, I can click when column changes. So when budget column changes, and if and only if the number meets this certain condition. So if budget is greater than, let's do 500, then notify me. So this is just, again, an option to give yourself more conditions of when exactly and at what point you would be notified of a certain numbers column. And you can adjust to equal to, less than, greater than, etc. Also, this will still only work for numbers columns. We're still working on the ability to have formulas supported in our automations. So for now, this is for numbers column specifically, but still very, very useful if you need more of that conditioning for when you get that notification or other action. Okie doke. So moving on, I'd like to introduce a brand new board view that we have called the dashboard view. So if you don't know about our board views, they allow you to visualize all of the data in your board in a number of different ways, which is great for customizing your workflow. Now, with the introduction of dashboard views, you can visualize all of your board's data in one view rather than having to toggle between these different tabs. You can think of it as a dashboard, but just within one board. For those of you who are not familiar with dashboards, as a very high-level summary, this is the best way to build reports, allowing you to get different insights from across multiple boards on your account. For example, here's a dashboard that automatically comes with the template that I used. They're particularly useful for reporting on teams, projects, or to see overall progress and goals. As you can see, dashboards are made up of different widgets to create customized reports. Now, similarly to dashboards, with the new dashboard view available on the board level, you can choose different widgets and apps to give your team a single source of truth in one visual playground. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how to actually set this up in just a moment. To the right of the main table view, you can see I've already set up a chart view and a timeline view. This is to help track the budget per channel. And the timeline view is just to set an overall schedule of our live campaigns. Now to add a dashboard view, similar to how we would add other new board views, I'm going to click on the Add View button and go ahead, and as you can see, you have two different options of our dashboard views and our other views. I'm going to go ahead and click on Dashboard and then add widgets, including my chart, with the x-axis being the channel, the y-axis being the budget, and go ahead and add another widget by clicking Add Widget up here and choose Timeline. We'll have to go to the Widget Center to do so, but as you can see, I can have all of my data in one place. I can even edit these widgets as needed, such as coloring by the different groups that we have. You'll even notice that for my timeline widget, it actually does support sub-items now. As you can see, I can add the due dates for the sub-items column to our timeline widget in our dashboard view, which is very helpful, and I know it's been highly requested. I'm also going to go ahead and add a battery widget just to give us an actual shareable view to our external shareholders of the progress being made so far in our dashboard and the progress of their projects. There we go. Sorry, I blanked on the word for a second. Actually, if you want to share this with your stakeholders as well, we do have the ability to share these dashboard views with your stakeholders or anybody else outside of your monday.com account, which wasn't possible before. So this is very exciting. To share a dashboard view, just like any other board view, go ahead and click the three dots next to the board view's name, and then select share. It says that I'm not an owner right now. Okay, well, you would do this as you would for, I can go ahead and show it down here quick. Click the three dots, go to share. Same situation as you would for any other board view. You have the shareable link, you have the embedded code. If you ever want to stop sharing, you would click stop on that specific board view. And it will also come up with this blue banner at the top of your board to tell you that there is information being shared on this board. So I'll go ahead and click stop if I don't want to share that any longer, and that blue banner disappears. Now back to our original board. That is how you share and then unshare the dashboard, just like any other board view. To note, at the moment, there is no ETA for broadcasting dashboards themselves. But this is something that our product team is definitely aware of and hopefully will be supported in the future, because I know it's something that has been highly requested. Now, before we move on to our integration improvements, I want to share a small but also fun improvement to our personal account settings. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and navigate to our profile photo at the bottom left, and then go ahead and select my profile. From there, if you hover over your initials, you can see the option to click on change profile picture. And then after doing so, you have the option to change avatar theme. So this is where you'll be able to pick out a color of your choice, which is the background of your initials, if you prefer not to upload a profile photo. So for example, maybe I want it to be blue this time, and I can always change it back to purple or even to pink. Really, whatever you choose. It's just another little option to customize your profile and the background of your initials if you don't want a profile photo specifically. It's a small new feature just to help customize our user profile photos color to add a little bit of personality to your account. Okay, so back to the board. For those of you who are not familiar, monday.com has a wide variety of internal integrations, which you can find in our integration center here. So I have no board integrations right now, and then here's our integration center. So our integrations allow you to seamlessly connect monday.com to external platforms so that you can consolidate your work. This is done by predefined integration flows that we've created for you to choose from. For example, Gmail, we have our recipes here, where when a status changes to something, send an email to someone. That said, if you can't find the exact integration that you're looking for, you can always use our external integration with Zapier, which you can see here. Now, what is Zapier? For those who don't know, Zapier lets you configure custom integrations between thousands of platforms without writing any code. So if you're like me and you don't know how to code, this is fantastic. Our Zapier connector unlocks the power of the monday.com API for any non-technical users, since they can use it to configure powerful data flows between Monday and any other tool that Zapier has a connector with. We recently rebuilt the integration from scratch, and it was a huge effort to make integrating with Zapier a breeze. Our team created brand new triggers and actions so you can create more workflows with the new version. We've also improved the experience of existing triggers and actions. So for example, I have a slide for you guys that shows this. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, so for example, our triggers are now returning more data, so you can do more in one step. For example, before, when column value changes, trigger would only return one column value that changed. Now it tells you which column value changed, and it gives you all the other columns from that item in case you need them. Next, we also have differences in our actions. They are also easier to use now. Previously, a lot of our customers would run into problems when mapping column values because they had to use JSON formatting that our API used. Now we support regular string formatting for most columns, with only a handful left that require JSON. Here's an example of the new UI for updating column values that create item step. Notice that each column on my board now has a text field, instead of the JSON dictionary. In terms of new features, you can now upload files with Zapier, which is kind of crazy. If you want to learn more about the Zapier integration, you can find lots of information. If you go back to your account and you click the help button, which is a little question mark right above your profile, and then go to Help Center, you can actually search for any information relating to Zapier and our integration with it. And it will bring up all information about Zapier, and you can look into our articles there for more information. If you add integration, sometimes it gives you a little bit more articles specific to Zapier. Okie doke, so moving on. If you haven't heard, monday.com now has an apps marketplace. This is where you can power up your workflows with third-party apps that extend the functionality of the platform even further. Specifically, for example, our app of the month, Hootsuite. We are constantly adding more and more apps to the marketplace, so we really encourage you to check out what's there on a frequent basis. To find the apps marketplace, you can either go to the 3 dots menu on your board and click on apps marketplace. You also have the option of finding it by clicking on your profile. Under Explore, you'll see apps marketplace here as well. And then there's also an option to find it at the bottom of your integration center. So now that we navigate to the apps marketplace, like I mentioned, each month we like to highlight an app that we think our users would find useful in their workflows. This month's app of the month is Hootsuite, like I mentioned, which is most relevant for our users who are working in marketing. So as you can see here, I just searched for Hootsuite up here and appeared. You can also scroll through and find it as you would like. But basically, Hootsuite allows you to plan, track, and publish all of your social media campaigns in one place. You can also see and update your scheduled Hootsuite posts directly from your calendar view to keep everything synced and organized. You'll also notice that there is a video demoing how to set up this app in your account. If this app isn't particularly interesting for what you want to do, or you want to see what else is on our marketplace to offer, I highly recommend checking out the marketplace and just checking out the different amazing apps that we have available there. However, please note that admins should be the ones to add the apps into the account. And there we go. Okay, so this actually completes the new features part of our session, and we'll be moving on to the Q&A shortly. I'm just going to grab a quick sip of water and then we can jump right in. But if you haven't had a chance, please make sure to add your questions to the Q&A box, and I will be right back.